This is a principle that doesn't just apply to individuals, it turns out. It applies to organizations too. Unearned fame and fortune are far more destructive than they might appear. And there are a lot of stories out there about lottery winners who go on to destroy their lives. Something like 70% of them supposedly go bankrupt within a few years. It's not hard to see. More often than not, all of their worst character traits are amplified 10 times over, and in many cases, that leads to a very public and humiliating collapse. Right now, there's no organization on the planet that proves this point more than the WNBA. The league just posted its highest average game viewership in 24 years.
Caitlin Clark just joined the WNBA, and the league's viewership is at a 24-year high. Not everyone's happy about it. Some players are straight up calling her out. What's going on here? Let's talk about Clark's impact. It's like she flipped a switch on the WNBA. Suddenly, arenas are packed. New sponsors are lining up.
From the executives to the players to the reporters who, for their sins in a past life, have been cursed with the job of covering a women's basketball league, everyone should be overjoyed. But there's a big problem. They're bringing in massive new sponsorships, at least by the league standard. They're selling out arenas, which used to be unheard of for the WNBA. And this should be a dream come true for everybody involved in the WNBA. All of this success, every bit of it, is due to the presence of one player in the league, and that is a generational talent named Caitlin Clark.
Fans are going wild. You'd think everyone in the league would be thrilled, right? Well, hold on, not so fast. Some WNBA stars aren't exactly rolling out the red carpet for Clark. They're actually throwing shade at the new Golden Girl. Can you believe it? The league's getting more attention than ever, but there's drama brewing behind the scenes. So why are some players not happy about Clark's success? What's really going on in the WNBA right now? Trust me, this story's about to get interesting. You won't want to miss what happens next. Remember when LeBron entered the NBA? Clark's having that same impact on the WNBA. She's not just good, she's rewriting the playbook. But get this, her phenomenal play is actually causing serious tension in the league. How's that even possible? Let's break down what makes Caitlin Clark so special.
With her, most people still don't care, but a lot more people care than did before. And everybody knows that. And still probably the only WNBA player whose name you know. She's the reason the WNBA just won the lottery. Without Caitlin Clark, nobody cares about any of these players or the league, right? Therefore, everyone in the league other than Caitlin Clark is doing exactly what so many lottery winners do. They're allowing all of their worst personality traits to surface because they just can't help themselves.
This rookie's got skills that are off the charts. We're talking scoring ability that'll make your jaw drop, court vision like she's got eyes in the back of her head, and clutch performances that'll have you on the edge of your seat. Picture this. Clark's on the court, weaving through defenders like they're standing still. She's got this uncanny ability to see plays before they happen, dishing out assists like she's got a crystal ball. And when the game's on the line, Clark's the one you want with the ball in her hand. But here's where it gets crazy. Clark's not just playing well, she's playing so well that people are comparing her to NBA legends. We're talking Michael Jordan and LeBron James level of impact. That's insane for a rookie, right? Now, you'd think everyone would be thrilled about this. I mean, Clark's bringing in new fans, attracting sponsors, and putting the WNBA in the spotlight like never before. Arenas are packed, TV ratings are through the roof. It's like Clark flipped a switch and suddenly everyone's paying attention to women's basketball.
The media, who are strangely very unhappy about the diversity that Clark has brought to the WNBA, a league that is mostly made up of black players. There's been a lot of resentment in this league lately. And several months ago, I covered the many cheap shots that Clark has had to deal with on the court. Some of these cheap shots look they look a lot like criminal assault, but of course they aren't prosecuted, particularly since the season began. And the thing about resentment, as we all know, is that it tends to fester over time. It gets worse and worse.
Here's the thing. Not everyone in the league is rolling out the red carpet for Clark. Some WNBA stars are actually throwing shade at the new Golden Girl. Can you believe it? The league's getting more attention than ever, but there's drama brewing behind the scenes. You know what's wild? Even LeBron James himself had to step in and defend Clark. He straight up called out the haters, saying, "If you don't rock with Caitlin Clark's game, you're just a flat out hater." LeBron knows what's up. He sees how important Clark is for growing the game. And it's not just LeBron. Charles Barkley's got Clark's back, too. He's telling WNBA players they should be thanking Clark for all the good she's bringing to the league. Private charters, more money, more visibility. Clark's making it happen. But it hasn't all been smooth sailing for Clark. She had a rough start with the Indiana Fever, even scoring a season-low 3 points in a game against the New York Liberty. That's the thing about being a rookie sensation. Everyone's gunning for you. Defenders are all over Clark like white on rice, trying to shut her down with aggressive physical play.
The league is currently in the midst of what really might be the single most contrived racism scandal, certainly in any professional sport. That's exactly what we're seeing now, now that the season is winding down, the playoffs are underway. Over the past week or two, race hysteria in the WNBA, specifically a bunch of WNBA players, have come out claiming that they've been victimized by racial slurs and other forms of racist attacks.
So why are some players not happy about Clark's success? What's really going on in the WNBA right now? It's like Clark's talent is both a blessing and a curse. She's bringing in the fans and the money, but she's also shaking up the established order. Think about it. Clark's not just playing basketball, she's changing the entire landscape of the WNBA. She's navigating the pressures of fame, sky-high expectations, and the challenges of being a rookie all at once. It's like she's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Clark's chess game just got a lot more complicated. The rookie phenom is facing unexpected opposition from her own league. What's causing this surprising backlash, and could it threaten Clark's meteoric rise? You'd think Caitlin Clark's success would have everyone in the WNBA celebrating, right? Well, not exactly. Some of the league's biggest stars are actually throwing shade at the new Golden Girl.
So now for the fine print. None of these racial slurs we're told about, some of which have supposedly occurred during games, like a lot of players are claiming this. In other words, they're now accusing the people who have started showing up to WNBA games for the first time in more than 2 decades. None of them, as far as I'm aware, have actually been caught on camera. Interesting.
It's like they forgot they're all on the same team. Let's talk about what's really going down. Breanna Stewart, one of the WNBA's top players, straight up questioned Clark's status. She said she didn't think Clark could be considered one of women's college basketball's greats without winning a championship. Ouch. That's like saying Michael Jordan wasn't great because he didn't win in college. But Stewart's not the only one taking shots. Cheryl Swoops, a WNBA legend, tried to undermine Clark's scoring record. She claimed Clark had played for more than 4 years, suggesting her achievements weren't valid. The thing is, Swoops was wrong. Clark did it in 4 years, fair and square. Even Diana Taurasi, the WNBA's all-time leading scorer, had something to say. She warned Clark that reality is coming, hinting that the rookie's going to struggle in the pros.
You'd think that if a mob of racists were buying up WNBA tickets so they could heckle the players with racial slurs, as is being claimed, not a single credible report even. That's extremely unusual, obviously, given that there are cameras and smartphones at every WNBA game. Then the videos would be all over the internet. But those videos are not all over the internet. They're not anywhere on the internet.
It's like they're all waiting for Clark to fail. So why are these established stars coming at Clark so hard? Is it jealousy? Are they feeling overshadowed? Or is it something deeper? Aja Wilson, another WNBA superstar, dropped a bombshell that might explain some of this heat. She pointed out that Clark's whiteness plays a big role in her popularity. Wilson said, "You can be top-notch at what you are as a black woman, but they don't see it as marketable." That's a heavy statement, and it's got people talking. Wilson's not wrong. The racial dynamics in sports marketing are real, and they're complicated. Clark's popularity has put a spotlight on this issue, and it's making some players uncomfortable.
We just watched one of the most unique experiences in the history of sports. And I'm talking about the Caitlin Clark experience. Here's the excuse I'm going to give them, and this is the bow I'm gonna put on this whole conversation. And this is a sympathetic take towards everybody on the Indiana Fever. And it's gone on non-stop. The Caitlin Clark is.
But here's the thing, Clark didn't ask for this. She's just out there playing her game, breaking records, and bringing fans to the sport. She's not responsible for how the media or sponsors choose to market players. The drama's not just off the court either. In a recent game, Chennedy Carter hit Clark with a flagrant foul that had fans and analysts questioning whether she's being targeted. Clark herself has noticed the extra physicality, saying, "I think everybody's physical with me. They get away with things, you know? Probably other people don't." It's like Clark's caught in the middle of a perfect storm. She's dealing with the pressure of being a rookie, the expectations of being a superstar, and now the backlash from her own peers. That's a lot for anyone to handle, let alone a 22-year-old just starting her pro career.
And then the clock rolls into the NCAA tournament. And by the NCAA tournament, I was like, this girl's the biggest star in sports. When practice starts back up in October and games start back up in early November or late October, she's now the biggest star in college sports, and she's playing at Iowa.
And it's not just about Clark anymore. Other rookies are feeling the heat too. Angel Reese, another standout rookie, pushed back against the idea that Clark's solely responsible for the new attention on women's basketball. Reese said, "It's because of me too. I want y'all to realize that. It's like everyone's fighting for their piece of the spotlight." The battle for attention is heating up, but Clark's got bigger problems. How's she handling the intense pressure? From aggressive defenders to accusations of racism, Clark's facing a storm that could make or break her career. Caitlin Clark's stepping onto the court, and it's like she's walking into a war zone. Defenders are all over her, playing rougher than a sandpaper massage. Her coach, Christy Sides, is getting fed up. She's saying, no, it's tough to keep getting hammered the way she does, and to not get rewarded with free throws or foul calls.
No, it's never happened in America. And then when you throw on the animus and the jealousy and the media being against her, February, March of 2024, it's like, holy cow, she's the biggest star in all of sports, and she's a woman. This is very unique. No woman's ever been asked to carry this burden.
Imagine trying to play your best game when you're getting knocked around like a pinball. But the real kicker? The refs aren't doing much to protect her. It's like they forgot their whistles at home. Clark's out there taking hits left and right, and the officials are just shrugging it off. That's gotta be frustrating for a rookie trying to make her mark. Now, you'd think the physical play would be the worst of it, right? Wrong. The drama off the court is even crazier. Some WNBA players are claiming the new fans Clark's bringing in are causing trouble. Brittany Griner dropped a bombshell saying, "I appreciate the new fans that sit there and yell racial slurs at myself, my teammates, and my opponents. They don't deserve that. That's heavy stuff." It's like Clark's success opened a can of worms nobody saw coming. Suddenly, we're not just talking about basketball anymore. We're talking about race, marketing, and who gets the spotlight in women's sports. Aja Wilson straight up said, "You can be top notch at what you are as a black woman, but they don't see it as marketable, so it doesn't matter how hard I work." That's gotta sting for players who've been grinding for years. But here's the thing, Clark didn't ask for any of this drama.
Caitlin Clark doesn't. And so here's a woman that becomes the biggest star in sports earlier this year, February, around that time. Goes all the way through the NCAA tournament, ends in early April. The next week, or within a week or 10 days, they have the WNBA draft, and ratings fly through the roof.
She's just out there playing her game, breaking records, and bringing eyes to the sport. It's not her fault if sponsors or media decide to focus on her more than other players. You know what's wild? Even with all this heat, Clark's got some unexpected ally. NBA superstars are stepping up to defend her. LeBron James, the king himself, called out the haters. Charles Barkley's telling WNBA players they should be thanking Clark for all the good she's bringing to the league. It's like the whole sports world is watching to see how this plays out. But let's be real, not everyone in the WNBA is against Clark. Some players are pushing back against this "everyone hates Caitlin" narrative. Aja Wilson said, "This narrative of everybody hating on Caitlin Clark, knock it off. It's not there. It's like they're trying to pump the brakes on all this drama." So what's really going on here? Is Clark the villain some are making her out to be? Or is she just caught in the crossfire of bigger issues in women's sport?
And then obviously you have Angel Reese still trolling her, and the people in the media being uncomfortable, and Paige Beckers is really the best player, and Paige Beckers, you know, she understands her white privilege. She ain't break my record. I was playing with a real size basketball. She wasn't. All of that. And it's like, oh, wow.
It's like she walked into the league and accidentally hit a big red button marked controversy. Think about it. Clark's not just dealing with the normal rookie stuff like learning plays and adjusting to the pro game. She's navigating a minefield of expectations, criticism, and controversy. One minute she's being hailed as the savior of the WNBA, the next she's getting blamed for stirring up racial tension. Talk about a roller coaster. So, what's the deal with Caitlin Clark and the WNBA? She's bringing in fans, sponsors, and attention like never before. But some players aren't happy. They're saying it's not fair that Clark's getting special treatment because she's white. Aja Wilson even said, "You can be top-notch as a black woman, but they don't see it as marketable." Is Clark the hero the WNBA needs, or is she just shining a light on bigger problems? The league's got to figure out how to deal with this. It's not just about one player anymore. It's about race, marketing, and who gets the spotlight. What do you think? How can the WNBA use this Clark craziness to grow and get better? Maybe it's time for the league to change things up. Make sure everyone gets a fair shot. The ball's in their court now.